That's my goal.
I'm not sure I want to invent the supercomputer, but I definitely want to build the supercomputer.
I want to be an inspiration.
An organizer of like do-gooders.
I want to be a veterinarian. I want to help out animals and work with them.
I want to be a media mogul. Just rule the world.
When I'm older, I want to be anything but the one that doesn't fit in, the one that people don't love.
Everyone deserves a dream.
Everyone.
But some of us are depressed,
Anxious,
Scared.
Angry.
alone.
don't feel like ourselves.
We can't even focus on the present, much less the future.
If that's you, say something.
It's okay to talk. It's okay to share. It's okay to get help or help someone.
Talk to someone. It helps. And people will listen. Add your voice at okaytotalk.org.
okaytotalk.org.
Brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters.
This is Talk 1470. WNN.
I definitely feel like the words veteran and homeless should never go together.
Sergeant Michelle Garcia served meritoriously in Iraq and Afghanistan.
I had friends, and I went and stayed at a friend's house, and then I realized, well, you're staying at your friend's house, but how long can you stay there? Where are you going to go? Where are you going to call home?
Lieutenant Richard Stokely took the skills he learned in Vietnam and put them to use as a paramedic. But after they left the service, these veterans had problems with homelessness. Michelle lost all her savings, and Richard battled alcoholism for years.
It started taking me down, all the way down to the point where I lost my family and I ended up homeless.
A simple phone call to 877-424-3838 put them in touch with the Department of Veterans Affairs. If you are a veteran in need, or you know a veteran who is homeless or at risk of being homeless, call 877-424-3838 or visit va.gov/homeless.
Talk 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach, Boca Raton, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Tune in for laughs and surprises with The Boca Show. Sundays at 4, only on 1470 WNN.
If you suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the Sole Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to 1 pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom inserts. Call the Sole Authority today, 954-597-7060.
Gallbladder problems, gingivitis, a bad back, indigestion, fatigue, low libido, not sleeping well, need to lose weight. Just some of the topics you'll hear about. Hi, I'm Dr. Bob Martin. Join me Sunday mornings at 10 on Talk 1470 WNN.
Hi, it's Jay Foster. Join us 7 days a week from 2 to 3 p.m. for Health Connection Radio. We'll talk about natural cholesterol control, toxic metal syndrome, how to reverse bone loss, and the latest scientific research on vitamins and minerals. We'll have fascinating guests, and we'll take lots of your calls, too. So join us 7 days a week from 2 to 3 p.m. for Health Connection Radio right here on WNN.
Sergeant Alberto Velasco faced an uncertain future after serving his country.
At the age of 27, I was involved in a motor vehicle accident. Mentally and physically, I was just done. I don't know where I would be without Paralyzed Veterans.
Winston Woodard III, Paralyzed Veterans of America.
My job as a service officer is to ensure these veterans have what they need to thrive and move forward with their lives. We are there providing expertise with VA benefits, assistance, and advocacy.
Thank you, Paralyzed Veterans.
Learn more at pva.org, a public service of Paralyzed Veterans of America.
What you want to know. What you need to know.
Talk 1470 WNN.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of the station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to the Golf and Travel Show, the place to fine-tune your swing, dress for the course, club, or cruise, and get tips on the best places to play and stay at the right price. Vacation or staycation, host Dan Schub, along with his expert co-hosts and guests, will tell you where to go. To play golf and vacation, that is. Now, here's Dan.
Welcome
to the Golf and Travel Show. I'm your host, Dan Shubin. Tonight, like we always do, we're going to talk some golf. We're going to talk some travel. We've got a special edition, actually, tonight. It's the 4th of July edition, so happy 4th of July to everybody. Hopefully you'll have a fun and safe holiday weekend. From what I understand, there will be more people on the roads this weekend than ever before, according to AAA. And for multiple reasons, I believe, one of which is the cost of gas, which seems to be lower than it's been in many, many years for this holiday. Typically, the prices will kind of go up for the summer travel time, and they've managed to stay low, so people are driving that way. And, of course, with some of the terrorism that's been happening around the world, some of the airports, many people prefer to stay in their car. They feel perhaps a little bit safer. And I think all of that is going to be contributing to folks taking vacations perhaps a little bit closer to home. And what we're going to do tonight is we will have some of Dan's deals for you, and all of the Dan's deals this time will be places that you can drive to if you're listening to my voice here in Florida or on the East Coast. Some really neat places, hotels, resorts that you can get to in your car. And I just thought that would be a smart idea, since that seems to be what people are looking to do. We have been talking a lot about flying far away and traveling to Europe and traveling to Asia. There are some incredible deals. And we've just talked about that a lot, so I think we'll talk about something closer to home. Also, we have a lot of interesting travel news and some golf news and some golf deals. And since we typically like to talk a little bit more golf at the top of the show, we'll do that tonight as well. And I just wanted to kind of start the show off. I mean, you know, between the terrorist activities, there's also been a lot of natural disaster issues that many folks are dealing with. And when we're talking about golf, we have to talk about the Greenbrier Resort, which is in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia. And unfortunately, this past week, they've been dealing with some issues with flooding. Perhaps 24 or more people have lost their life. There's been thousands or over 1,000 homes were destroyed, or they just washed away. And the Greenbrier Classic is scheduled, or had been scheduled, to take place July 7th through 10th. And it's a wonderful event. The owner of the property, Jim Justice, he's sunk a ton of money to keep this extremely historic resort in top-notch condition. And I saw some photographs of it. It literally looked like a river was running right through the golf course. And it's just it's a sad tale. Bubba Watson happened to have been there. He's sponsored by them, and I believe has a home there as well, and happened to have been there when all this was taking place, and he was tweeting out some photos, and just devastating. But what Mr. Justice has done in the past and is doing again is they've been organizing donations for food and clothing and for shelter, and they actually put up people there at the resort who are in need. Anybody that needs a place to stay, he always takes care of them, Mr. Justice. So just again, a nod out to those folks who are going through some difficult times, and to a place that's a historic home of golf for both folks like you and I who want to go vacation there, as well as for the PGA Tour. So a little bit of sad news there. Typically, I also save all of my deals towards the end of the show. We typically talk a little bit of news, golf news, travel news first, but I thought tonight we would throw out some of my deals for you that relate to golf, that are golf resorts or have a lot of golf there, since we like to talk golf at this point in the show. And there are some great deals for golf that are drivable for anybody who is listening on the East Coast here in Florida, or anywhere up and down the coast if you're tuned into us on the internet. One place that I've mentioned before that has a deal from time to time, it's a place that I have stayed, and I'm going to try and talk mostly about towns and or resorts that I've had a personal experience with, because I always like to do that, although occasionally I'll wander, but only upon doing a lot of research and knowing that it's a place I can recommend to y'all. But this is a place that I've actually stayed at, I've played at, the tour plays at. It's just across the state and in the Tampa area, and that would be the Innisbrook Golf and Spa Resort. And this deal, like most of the deals I typically find from my favorite place, which is Travel Zoo, so you can find this there. You will be able to stay there for the rest of the year, actually. This is starting right after this holiday weekend on July 5th through December 29th. So it's not only the off season, And I'm sure that there may be a couple of dates that are blacked out, some of the holidays, but for as little as $89 through October and $99 for November and December, you could get a room at the Innisbrook Resort. So, that's just an incredible deal. It's a beautiful resort with 4 championship golf courses. Of course, the Copperhead is where the PGA Tour plays their event. I've played it. It is extremely difficult, very impressive. But also this $88 or $89 rate also includes a $25 food credit too, that you could use at any of the 6 dining options on the property. So it's pretty cool. They've got a great swimming pool complex with 2 water slides and a 15-foot waterfall. When I was there, my kids were younger, and they enjoyed it. So it's a great place to take the family as well. And as I had mentioned, if you're listening to me on the radio here in Florida, it's not a bad drive to the other side of the world there. And the Tampa area is a very, very cool area. I like it a lot. So the Innisbrook Resort, really on the cheap. You'll pay a lot more for that in season. Another place that I have stayed at, it's been a while, and by the way, I didn't mention that you do have to hurry on all these deals. The Innisbrook deal ends July 14th. You have to book it by, so do not wait. A place that I stayed not too far from here, just 1 state away from us in Florida, would be up in Georgia, and that would be the Chateau Elan Winery and Resort. Also a beautiful, beautiful place to stay. The winery is very cool. Great golf as well. So you could do your wine tasting. They've got tons of excellent restaurants, 6 of them as a matter of fact. And it's a beautiful French estate. It's over 3,500 acres. They grow their grapes there, and it's a cool place. The cooking classes and demonstrations, a great spa as well with 30 treatment rooms. And here too is a place that in season you might expect to pay quite a bit, but right now if you hurry, they've got rooms for weekdays $169, $30 extra for a suite, and $100 more. $100 more for the suite. It's weekends are $30 more, but that also includes a $50 credit that you could spend either on golf or on the restaurant. So it's about a 40% savings from their regular rate. So that would be Chateau Elan in Georgia on Travel Zoo. And this one you really have to hurry. July 7th it expires for booking, and I would not wait on this, but they do have dates through August. Another place in Georgia that I've mentioned on the show before that I have stayed at, I have enjoyed. And again, it's a little bit hot in the South this time of year. That's why a lot of these places are having sales around the holidays. Forget about it. This place is just crazy around Christmas time. They decorate it all nutty. But that would be Callaway Gardens, which is just beautiful. Their gardens are great to drive through. Wonderful place for families. I also took my kids there. As a matter of fact, I believe they still have the Florida State University Circus performing there during the summer. Back in the day, my son who went there, his roommate actually performed, and we did go and watch it. And when I was, back in the day when my kids were younger, they actually got to participate in the circus. The kids get to do aerial, like tight wire stuff, and it's pretty neat to watch how they learn, and the trapeze, etc. So it's a very, very cool place for families and golfers, of course. It's an excellent place to go play golf. They've got wonderful golf there as well. Just you name it. I rented bikes there to drive through the beautiful gardens. Butterfly garden that's just very, very cool. You just thousands and thousands of butterflies that you get to see. And their sale price right now, regularly $249, but for $169 on Travel Zoo, and that includes breakfast, and it includes admission into the gardens. You're saving about $80 a night. The lodge rooms are $169 from Sunday through Thursday, and that includes breakfast for 2. There's usually a resort fee of $15, but with this deal, it's waived. If you'd rather go on the weekend, it's just a little bit more at $209, and you get all of that, the breakfast, and a $25 spa credit, too. They do have a nice spa there as well. And the breakfast is a full buffet breakfast, so it's not, your continental kind of breakfast. This is the whole buffet with an omelet station and pancake station and fresh-made squeezed juices, and really, really nice place. It's been a long time since I've stayed there, but I wish I had a chance to get back. That's Callaway Gardens, and that one you really have to hurry because that is only, you got to book it by July 5th, so do not wait on that. And the last golf deal before we take a break in our region that I'd like to let you know about is also a place that I did have an opportunity to stay at a long time ago. It is one of the most famous places for golf at all, anywhere in the country, actually. That would be Pinehurst in North Carolina, Pinehurst number 2, one of the best golf courses in the country, but they've got, I don't know, probably about, how many golf courses? 9 golf courses they've got at Pinehurst that you could play at, and one is just better than the next. It's a beautiful area. Again, a little bit steamy this time of year, but you get some great deals. It can be very expensive in season. Right now on Travelzoo, $179 to stay at the Holly Inn, which is one of their older buildings, so it may not be their top-of-the-line property there, but you're on the property, and it's an amazing property. I mean, this is a place to go to really relax, and, you know, the restaurants some of them are a little bit more formal. The men wear jackets, and it's a whole different world. It's a 4-diamond AAA resort, and for $179, that's 45% off, and there are some credits that are included. The $179 is Sundays through Thursdays. For weekends, it's $30 more, but these rates include a $50 spa credit per room per night, a $50 credit for golf per room per night, and a $25 dining credit per room per night. Usually when you get these credits, it's per stay, not per night. So that, you know, that's a nice little perk to have. You could travel through September 7th with these rates, but you do have to book it by July 14th, so do not waste time. And these deals often do sell out. So even though you haven't reached the cutoff date, you may have a hard time getting a reservation. What we're going to do is we're going to take our first break, and then we're going to come back with some travel news, and I've got some more deals for you for later. So it'll be educational, and I'll send you some more places that you could drive to in your car. So stay tuned for more of the Golf and Travel Show. We'll be right back. And it's time for a message from our sponsor, Labor Finders. If your business needs industrial workers, or if you're looking for work, you gotta call Labor Finders, because Labor Finders places for temporary or temporary to hire opportunities for skilled, semi-skilled, or general labor positions such as plumbers, electricians, concrete workers, forklift operators, office clerical workers, hospitality workers, and so much more. Labor Finders has almost 200 offices nationwide. Near here in Boca Raton, they have offices in Homestead, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, and in Jupiter. So if you need legal and insured hard workers, or if you're looking for work, call Labor Finders toll free at 800-864-7749. That's 800-864-7749, or just visit laborfinders.com.
Standing all alone, wondering what went wrong.
And we are back. And at our last segment, we were talking about some places that have some golf deals, and there was one more that I wanted to tell you about that I ran out of time, so we'll do it right now. This is a place that I've been, or a area, a state, an island that I've been wanting to get back to for a long time. I promised my wife I'd bring her back. I told her I'd bring her back in 5 years, and that was, like 30 years ago. I was there for my honeymoon, and have not gotten back, and I regret it, and I apologize to my wife. Luckily, she hasn't divorced me yet, so who knows when I get home. If she's listening, she may not be happy. But like I said, I love this place, and that's the island of Kauai, and it's the Garden Island of Hawaii, and just a beautiful, beautiful place to be. And unfortunately for me, when I was there on my honeymoon, I did not get the opportunity to play golf. I was a better behaved boy then than I am now, perhaps. But Princeville area is an area that is just known to have incredible golf. And there is a golf course there that I think they may have done this before. I may have heard about it, but I noticed they sent me some information the other day about this. That would be the Mackay Golf Club at Princeville. And, it's overlooking Hanalei Bay, which is just absolutely gorgeous. And for locals or people that are staying there, they've got something that they call the Mahalo Monday Mixer. And what this is it's an opportunity for folks that are looking to just get in a couple of holes, a little bit of instruction perhaps, and, not be out there for full 18 if they're maybe not quite ready for it yet, So this program here at the Mackay Golf Club, which is at the St. Regis in Princeville, it includes instruction by a pro. You get to play on 3 of their signature holes, one of which has an incredible ocean view. And you also get refreshments as well. They do this on Monday afternoons at 4 o'clock, so the golf course is already pretty much emptied out from the rest of the folks that are out there playing. You get a signature wine or a tropical juice in a keepsake glass, and you get to mingle and meet other people that perhaps are staying there at the hotel. And it's only $60 if you're a single or $99 if you're a couple. So it's pretty cool. So they play out there on holes number 3, number 6, and number 7. And I like the idea. There's a lot of talk these days that the fact that golf takes so long and that life is so busy that people just don't find the time to do it. And it's kind of hard to get people to even accept it and get into it. So by giving people perhaps a little bit of a sampler, something a little bit shorter than that, at least until they really feel comfortable, is kind of a neat way to introduce folks to the game and for folks to just go out and have a good time and make it more social perhaps and less competitive. So some of us like that. Some of us like the competition. Some of us just like to socialize. So you can find out about this by going to the Mackay website, which is Mackay, MAKAI golf.com, and then /golf instruction. And you'll find out about that, or you could give them a call at 808-826-1912. And they got 27 holes of beautiful golf there, so you may want to check that out. What we're going to do now is, I think, move into some of the stories about travel and interesting things that just pass my way that I like to share with everybody so that you all can be more educated. I know I just had an issue with my daughter who's in the midst of planning a honeymoon. And she keeps changing her mind where she wants to go. Her latest thing is she'd like to go to Thailand, and she found a really great price. She told me on a flight, and she's flying Turkish Airlines, and she's changing planes, of course, in Istanbul. And she was really proud that she got a good deal. And I said, do you know that the U.S. State Department has advised American citizens to stay away from there, that it's not the best place? She thought that this one event that happened was an isolated incident, and of course terrorism typically is an isolated incident, but as it turns out, there's been quite a bit of chatter, a lot of threats, and a lot of domestic as well as international terrorism in that area, and it's a little bit dangerous. So I said to her, listen, I don't have a problem with you going to Thailand. It's a peaceful, safe country. But you think we can find a different route for you right now, at least. So bottom line is that an educated traveler is always better than somebody who hasn't quite figured it out or isn't paying attention to what's going on and listening to the warnings. And good deals are good deals, but sometimes there's a reason why there's a good deal. So bottom line is I like to keep everybody up to date on what's going on, and hopefully that's why you all tune in. One topic that we've been talking about for a while has to do with both security and convenience. And this is a trend that's been going on now for maybe a year or so, and that would be the keyless entry, whereby you don't get those plastic key cards any longer to get into your room. You can check in now for many of the hotel chains such as Hilton and Marriott and Hyatt and Intercontinental and Starwood. And you can check in on your smartphone, and then they will actually send you something that enables your phone to open up your door. So therefore, you can totally avoid having to go to the front desk, and it seems that, you don't have to worry about losing your key. Of course, if you lose your phone, you got an issue, I suppose. But it seems to be something that's catching on, and it's growing, and it's now available at many, many more properties than ever before. So I think if you haven't had an opportunity to try it out yet, it's probably in your future. And I'm kind of glad about it because I just think it's kind of neat. The other thing that I'm not thrilled about with those keys is they're always getting demagnetized. And I don't even believe everything that they tell me about it. They say that if you keep it in your wallet near your credit cards, or especially now with the chip enabled credit cards, that you demagnetize and it doesn't work. And I don't know. I've had situations where I have it nowhere near my wallet and they just stop working. So I think that this whole phone thing might be something that is really convenient in many, many different ways. So I'm kind of looking forward to having more opportunity to check it out. And speaking of the major hotel chains, another thing that we've been discussing for the past several weeks and months is the situation in Cuba, whereby more and more people are traveling to Cuba, but unfortunately they have no place that's really good to stay. There's just not enough lodging, and a lot of the hotels are not at the level of repair, perhaps, that we might consider appropriate. So now it seems that American companies and hotel companies are allowed to go in there, but of course to first start building new properties is not going to be the easiest thing to do. So some of them, in particular, right now, Starwood and their 4 Points chain has moved in to take over the operation of some existing hotels. And what they've already started to do or have done is bring them up to the code and to the levels of acceptability that American travelers are expecting when they go there. So I think you're going to see that, not only the Starwood right now, the 4 Points, but remember Starwood is in the process of merging with Marriott. So both of these huge chains on their own have been making inroads and agreements to have management contracts and do renovations, and I'm sure some new construction as well, which is going to take some time. And it's interesting, though, because this particular 4 Points Sheraton property that is going to be opening soon or putting their name on this building is actually owned by Grupo de Turismo, which is one of the oldest military-run organizations of Cuba. So it's actually, well, no surprise, I suppose, with a communist country. It's owned by the government, and this is a partnership now that they're smart enough to know that by bringing in some of our companies in there, they bring in some revenue, they upgrade, they fix these places that need repair. They just didn't have the money to do that. So hopefully these partnerships will work out better than the last time we were doing business with Cuba many, many years ago, I guess, with Batista. And that didn't work out so well. Hopefully this will work out a little bit better. And I'm still looking forward to my opportunity to get over there. I've been wanting to do it for a long time. Another place that I like to talk about a lot because I come from there and I visit there frequently because I still have a lot of friends and relatives and need to get up to New York a lot. And that would be, of course, New York City. And an iconic property in New York City that we spoke about a couple of years ago being changing hands, and that would be the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. I mean, kings and queens and presidents have all stayed there. And several years ago, or a couple of years ago, it was acquired by a company called Anbang, which is a Chinese company. And, this is a hotel with history. It dates back to the late 19th century. It opened in 1893. And it just has a tremendous history. And back then, there were reports that, you won't be seeing presidents staying there anymore because the assumption is that the Chinese government will probably have the entire building bugged. So unless you're the kind of people that like other people watching or listening to what you do, I mean, there are people that like that. Not one of them. I don't think I'd stay there. But worse than that is next spring, they're shutting the hotel down. And many of the rooms, perhaps as many as 75% of them, there were 1,416 rooms, are going to be converted into luxury condominiums. And so it's kind of a shame that this beautiful hotel is going to be disappearing. But I guess it kind of explains the business end of it. When they acquired it a year or two ago, they paid $1.95 billion for it. So it was a Hilton owned it at the time. And, if anybody knows what condos and what rents are in New York, that they could make good money on that investment this way, but not if you have a hotel and you're not renting out every room. So we'll follow that. We'll see. There's still going to be some hotel rooms left, so hopefully they will stay that way, and it won't lose, that landmark status that it has is just a grand old dam of New York. It's a